Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we'll start this lesson off by giving all honor and glory to Yahawah, by Hashem, Yahawashi, by Hashem, Rakak Kwadash, and double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the hopeful elect, okay? Real quick, let me throw this on Do Not Disturb real quick. Okay, microphone is on. All right, good. Woman, they want to know how. Okay, so this, you know, of course, you know about the Shannon Sharp situation by now if you haven't been living under a rock. Okay, just an older man dealing with a younger woman. Okay, and this in this case, I think she was about 18, Shannon about 40, 50 or something like that. Okay, and in the kingdom, okay, in the kingdom, man, we're gonna get them young, okay, as Apostle Hall always say, okay, once they pass the flower of their age, okay, we're gonna get them young. Of course, on this side, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that. You follow laws of this land right now according to that, okay, but we know it's not unrighteous, okay, and I'm gonna play this video, then I'm gonna grab some precepts on that, man, but just to show you every man's mindset, man, don't no man want no old drag out woman, okay, that's been flipped and flopped everywhere, every which way. Okay, those women are supposed to be married and been with that man that first took their virginity. Okay, not passed around and commit adultery and shit. All right, but let's get into it. Old you want a young woman. They want to know how old you want a young woman, because some of them want to talk to you. When I go grocery shopping, tell them I don't buy roosters and old hen. I buy young fillet, young meat. I can cook it and eat it. How old is young? He said he can cook. He buy young meat when he go to the grocery store. You remember he can cook it and eat it. He don't go buy old meat, you know. And the lady's asking how old is young. Well, we're about to answer that question. And this is only applied to in the kingdom, okay? Because in the kingdom we're gonna get them young, okay? All right. For all you men out there that get emotional, men and women, they get emotional about this, okay? Well then you offended at this then, okay? All right. That's a stumbling block before you. Okay, so let's do it. What's the age? I'm 89 damn years. What's the age the young woman has to be? If I get a woman over 40, I don't want her. Right. So and he just saying that because he's 89, but trust me, he want him a nice one too. He want him a right one, something 18 and 19 according to this world's age. 2021. He want him a young one, man. Okay, because you got to think about it. When King David was on his deathbed, okay, what did they do? They gave him a young Issacharite woman. Okay, which I'm gonna hit them two. I'm gonna hit two scriptures and I'm gonna be out of there. All right. You want somebody under 40? A little under 40. You crazy as hell. Trust me, he want to go. He want to go down to the 20s. Trust me, we men. That's how we are, man. We don't want nothing that's you know been ravished. Okay. Okay, which in this world, the 21-year-olds, 30, 21, 30s, they've been ravished anyway. Okay, that's why we gotta, the Lord gotta come back and, restore righteousness. Okay, and that goes with everything, man. You know. Over 40, ain't no woman under 40 go, man, you gonna have a heart attack. You allow you to the worst thing God ever made. What are you gonna do with a 40-year-old woman? It ain't your damn business. Right. Woman, it ain't their damn business, Okay, and it ain't nobody business, man. As long as she passed the flower of her age, which we're gonna get into right now. Okay. First Corinthians chapter 7, verse 36. Okay. And let me start up at 35. First Corinthians chapter 7, verse 35. Uh-huh. I'll go at 34, okay? There is difference also between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman cares for the things of the Lord, that she may be holy both in body and in spirit. But she that is married cares for the things of the world, how she may please her husband. Okay, and that married is just having sex and being with that man. Okay, just and you can read that Isaac and Rebecca situation. They didn't have a big ceremonial. Or he was grieving about his mother's death. Okay, his dad and his uncle or his cousin set that up, okay? And the woman came, Rebecca came, and they laid in the tent, and she relieved him of that the sorrowfulness of his daughter, of his mother's death. And what do you think she did? She threw that thing on him, man. Okay, so let's do it. Uh, okay. But she, okay, with 2035, and this I speak for your own profit, not that I may cast a snare upon you, but for that which is comely, and that ye may attend upon the Lord Yahawah without distraction. Verse 36, but if any man think that he behaveth himself uncomely toward his virgin, okay, if she pass the flower of her age, and need so required, let him do what he will. She sinneth not, he sinneth not. Let them marry, okay, which is have sex. All right. And when you go into that word, virgin, is two meanings, okay? I know one is batwala and the other one is let me see, First Corinthians. Okay, one meaning young woman. I think that was seven. Let me see if Slocky. Yep, 7 and 35. Okay, boo, 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 boo. 35. Okay, the version that is talking about in this context is a is a upon you calmly uh Salaki with this one. And I'm gonna read it again. First Corinthians chapter 7, verse 36. But if any man think that he behaveth himself uncomely toward his virgin, if she pass the flower of her age, and need so required, let him do that. He let him do what he will. He sinneth not. Let that man let them marry. Okay, just like the man says, what he do with his woman, in righteousness, it ain't her business. Okay, but let's get it right here.
Strong's G 3933. Parthenos. Parthenos.
Okay, Parthenos, a maiden by implication, an unmarried daughter, virgin. Okay, a virgin, a marriageable maiden. Okay, she's of age to be married. Okay, a woman who has never had sexual intercourse with a man. Okay, and that's why it says she passed the flower of her age, right? One's marriageable daughter, a man who has abstained from all the unclean. No, one who has never had intercourse with the woman. Okay, so she's a virgin. Okay, all right. A woman right here is a good one. A woman who has never had sexual intercourse with a man. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's get the flower. Okay, and a lot of you guys are gonna be hurt by this. Okay, and the base of beyond the acme in an example figuratively of a daughter past the bloom prime of youth, past the flower of her age. Okay, and what is that flower? Okay, beyond the bloom of prime life. Okay, overripe, plump, and ripe, and so in a greater danger of defilement of a virgin. Okay, give me a second, real quick. Give me a second. Go back on that. Okay, and the flower of her age is her period. Okay, that's when they have that blood come out. That's when they're able to have children. Now, and this time Esau is doing things with the food, you know, the chemicals and stuff like that. It caused them to have their some children. It caused some girls to have their birth, their flower come earlier. Okay, and so in this society, it wouldn't make sense to do it because you can have we heard of a girl getting a period at 9 years old, and that's just not right because Esau has disrupted all things, okay? With chemicals in the waters, okay, food not being right, it disturbs the body's hormones, okay? But when she passed the flower of age, it's her, that's a period, that's a menstrual cycle, okay? Past the flower of her age, bloom, prime of youth, okay, of a daughter. Give me a second. Okay, and we can type that in real quick. What is a woman's bloom of life? No, let's see this real quick. Okay, beautiful. So it's the menstrual flow, okay? It says in Leviticus 15:33 refers to a woman's menstrual flow. Her flowers, okay, is a menstrual flow. The term is fumism, with the more direct translation being menstrual discharge, okay? So that's her bodily fluids. The passage discussed though the laws of uncleanness related to bodily discharges, including those of men and women. And if that hasn't, if that didn't help you out, I'll go to it. And we can actually get to it. Leviticus, okay? Just to kind of make sure everything's sealed on that end. 15 verse 3, verse 33. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Okay, let me just go up real quick. Okay, verse 19, Leviticus chapter 15, verse 19. That's why a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood. Okay, that's period. She shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the evening. Okay, and everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean. Okay, so her period, you know. Okay, okay. And just jumping down here, flowers, verse 33. And of her that is sick of her flowers, okay, meaning it continued, okay, meaning her period is continued, of her flowers, and of him that hath an issue of the man, and of the woman, and of him that lieth with her that is unclean. Okay, all right. So her flowers is her menstrual cycle. Okay, now let's go get this real quick. Uh, okay, and that's in First King, and that's in First King, Blood Bible. Okay, First Kings. Just lock it real quick. Trying to see what that was. Okay, First Kings 1 through 4. Okay, First Kings chapter 1 verse 1. Now King David was old and stricken in years, and they covered him with clothes, but he gat no heat. Wherefore his servant said unto him, let there be sought for my lord the king a young virgin, okay, and let her stand before the king, and let her cherish him, and let her lie in thy bosom, that my lord the king may get heat, okay, because they're trying to decipher, okay, was he going, okay, because you give an old man, that's really what as Apostle telling them, you say, that's what you want to give an old man to bring him life. Give him a young woman, okay, not no damn medication and pump him up and send him on his way to the Lord, or you guys killing us, okay. And let her stand before the king, and let her cherish him, okay, rub on him, oil him down, get him all roused up. Okay. And let her lie in thy bosom, that my Lord Yahweh, I mean that my Lord, that's talking about David, right? That my Lord the king may get heat. Okay, what's that heat? That's when that thing start to rise and going. Okay. Let's act like adults, right? Verse 3. So they sought for a fair damsel throughout all the coast of Israel, and found Abishag, a Shunammite, and brought her to the king. And the damsel was very fair. Okay. I guess it wasn't a okay, hold on. Okay. Okay, it wasn't a it's correct. Salaki on that one. It says Abishag, a Shunammite, and brought her to the king. And the damsel was very fair, and cherished the king, and ministered to him. But the king knew her not, meaning he did not have sex with her, because he was about to die. He was passing away from old age, okay, as it said in the top. Then Adonijah, the son of Haggith, exalted himself, saying, I will be king. And he prepared him chariots and horsemen and 50 men to run before him. Okay, and his father had not displeased him at any time, and saying, why hast thou done so? And he also was a very goodly man, and his mother bare him after Absalom. Okay, so King David was passing on, okay, because he said, "I knew her not." Now let's get this definition of this version, okay? She's a young virgin, all right, a young woman, okay. Let's get the definition of young.
Strong's H 5291. Ne'era.
Girl, damsel,
Ne'era.
girl, damsel, female servant. Trust me, she was not 40 years old. She was not 30 years old. She was not 25 years old, okay? She's not 20 years old. She was not 18 years old. Girl, damsel, little girl. Little girl, okay, as you can see right here. Little girl, okay. Damsel, little girl, young woman, marriageable, young woman, concubine, prostitute. Maid, female attendant, female servant. Okay, as you see right here. Little girl only, perhaps equals young daughters, especially of marriageable age. So it wasn't no 3-year old, no 4-year old, you know. Okay. Now let's go get this one. Virgin. Bethula, okay, feminine, passive participle of an unused root. Let me get this real quick. What happened?
Strong's H 1330. Bethulah. Bethulah.
Bethula, okay, feminine, passive participle of an unused root, meaning to separate a virgin from her privacy. Okay, a virgin from her privacy. Sometimes by continuation, a bride, also figuratively a city or state made virgin. Virgin. Okay, so this is talking about the virgin through her private part. Okay, because it says right here, and the damsel was very fair to look upon, a virgin. Neither reading down to Genesis 24 verse 16. Neither had any man known her. Okay, known her, and she went down to the well and filled her pitcher and came up. So when it says King David knew her not, he didn't have sex with that woman. Okay, they were trying to get them back aroused up, get some heat going, some friction. Okay, but it didn't happen. All right, but this right here, this girl right here says neither had any man known her, did not have sex with her. Okay, did not have sex with her. All right, so yeah, man, we're gonna get them young, man, and I just had to bring that up. Okay, just touch back on that. I saw that video and it kind of you know intrigued me to do a lesson, man. In the kingdom, all these women right now on Esau's side are full of adulterers. They're having sex at 13, 14, 15. They don't, and they're not with that first person they had sex with. Okay, they were different men and laying with different men and whatnot. All the way up until the higher age. But in the kingdom, we're going to get them young when they pass the flower of their age, which is probably going to be around 11, 12, maybe 11, 12, okay, maybe 13, 12. I think 11, 12, 12, 13, but 12 is a sweet number, okay? And it's going to be in all righteousness, okay? And she's going to learn how to be a woman, and she's going to learn how to stay with that. She's going to ain't no learn. She's going to be with that man. She's going to be with that man for the rest of her life. Okay, so he's going to be there from that age. She's going to be there from that age all the way on up. Okay, she's going to be with him from that age all the way on up, and that's how it's going to be. And she's going to be well taken care of. All right. You people in this world got to get it out of your mind that when you say past the flower of the age, she's able to have a child. Okay, she's able to have a child, so you can't get emotional about that, man. And also, same thing with a young man. Okay, he becomes a young man at 11, 12. Okay, so yeah, Lord, one that was edifying with that, I'm saying Shalom, call on Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Kakodash, the honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect, man. We're gonna get them young, man. Okay, because these women right here is played out. You can't find you can't find a virgin at 18, 19. Okay, you can't find no virgin at 20, 21. All right. The Lord said this is adulterous generation. Okay, you can't find no woman at these days, but you be lucky you can't find them. Okay, you better find a virgin at 17, 16, 14, 15. They fucking. Okay, shalom.